You know, the beautiful thing about this quarantine is in it I've been able to reassess and reevaluate myself, looking at all my strengths and being able to appreciate myself for the things I do well. But the thing that keeps me the most humble is being gracious for opportunities, for things that I may and may not deserve, and acknowledging all these things keep me in a humble position. They keep me somewhat self-aware. But there are others in this world that completely throw that method out the window. French Montana recently came out to say that he has more hits than Kendrick Lamar. He believes he has more hits than Kendrick Lamar. Now, French Montana, you are a less successful DJ Khaled. Relax. You're not really French, and you're not the best Montana. In the back of my mind, I was sitting here thinking to myself, maybe this dude said it for some free clout, right? Maybe he's got a really good hit single or a really good new album about to come out, and he wants some clout for it, and he's just saying it for, spins or whatnot. But then I listened to his most recent single, and it's literally just a Pop Smoke fucking ripoff. The single he came out with before that sounds like he went back in time to 2014 and literally dry jacked Travis Scott. Now, let's be honest with ourselves for a second, all right? If you for one moment are thinking that I'm saying that French Montana has never had a hit single, you're wrong. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, I'd argue that French Montana's Pop That is easily more useful than majority of the hits that Kendrick Lamar has had. When I say useful, I'm talking about those parties you would go to and everybody's dry humping each other and the women would go crazy as soon as they heard Pop That drop. But you saying that you have more hits than Kendrick Lamar is just a fallacy. That's just factually incorrect. Now, the word hit can be subjective, right? Just because you listen to a song all the time, that doesn't mean it's a hit. French Montana strikes me as a dude that sat in the studio and listened to all his songs 100 times each and just subjectively decided, yeah, these are all hits. You look like Drake with Down syndrome. Like, I don't understand how you get this level of confidence. That's mean-spirited, though, and unnecessary. But you know what else is unnecessary? French Montana's catalog. Because I say Pop That is one of his best songs ever, but it literally relies on the feature from a Drake, from a Wayne, from a Rick Ross. But Kendrick has literally had 48 songs make it onto the Billboard Hot 100. French Montana has had 17. His last most successful hit, I believe, was the unforgettable joint with Sway Lee, which is ironic because French Montana's performance on that track was pretty forgettable. Not only have you never had a number one hit, Kendrick has had 8 laying in the top 10, while you've only had 2. Still an accomplishment, but it's nowhere near enough for you to be like, oh, I got more hits than Kendrick Lamar. And I don't know why Kendrick is the dude that you decided to come at anyway. This dude literally does not make music with the intent of it being a hit single. Wasn't there a time where Kendrick's entire album was on the Hot 100? Wasn't there a time when that happened? I will never forgive this nigga for what he did to the East Coast remix. I will never forgive him. Completely ruined my ability to just play a song that features a great verse from Busta Rhymes, a pretty great verse from A$AP Rocky, Dave East, Rick Ross and Snoop Dogg somewhat do their thing. You completely took away the ability for me to play that song all the way through. You completely ruined that. If you thought that wasn't bad enough, French Montana took the liberty of explaining to us what his top 20 hit singles would be. This nigga decided to say Shot Caller, which is trash. Ain't Worry About Nothing, which is an okay single. I'm not going to say it's terrible, but it's definitely not better than anything that Kendrick has made it to the Hot 100 with. Don't Panic, ass. And then we start to get crazy, right? We start to get a little insane because he starts listing songs that he was just doing a remix for, songs that he was just featuring on, songs that he got completely carried on, like Pop That, like it didn't have the Drake stimulus package. These Hoes Ain't Loyal, which is a fucking Chris Brown song, all the way up, which people only go to for Fat Joe and Remy Ma. No Shopping. Again, Drake is literally one of your BFFs. Stay Scheming, Lockjaw, Sanctuary, Chopper Down, which for some reason is listed on this list twice. No Stylist, which everyone listens to because they want to hear that. No Chanel, with the like that's all they want to hear. They literally skip your entire shit just to get to that part of the song. Bro, Work is a fucking A$AP Ferg anthem. That is one of the greatest songs of all time. Work is a cultural statement, and you still fucked it up. Like Schmurder remake, like I'm like, there's no part of my brain that legitimately, that rationally sits there and is like, yo, we seen what French Montana does on other people's tracks. Let's rationally, while we're not high at all, get him on our track so he can fuck it up too. Like, you must be paying people to be a part of these songs. There's no way in anyone's right mind they're like, oh my God, out of everybody in the rap game, this needs a French Montana feature. He's the only rapper that I could confidently say is probably paying the artist to be featured instead of being paid himself. You made Twisted. You gave Logic the influence and the inspiration to throw down one of the worst verses he's ever written all time. Ball Drop, Ocho Cinco, Nobody, Marble Floors, Unforgettable. Like, these all are literally features that people would rather go to than hear your voice. Literally earlier this year, you were exposed for manipulating your streams. How you have the gall to say something like this is blasphemous. You've been the bridesmaid but never the bride your entire career. See, like, if you were saying this and you were like this legendary producer that was lacing niggas beats like crazy, I could see if you were like some DJ Premier, Alchemist, RZA, Timbaland, Swiss Beats, Pharrell type, supplying niggas with the goods that they need to be the best rappers that they could be for a long time. I could see if you were doing shit like that. You know, I could see if you had an album that was as culturally relevant as a To Pimp a Butterfly. I could see if you had the hit-making capabilities of someone like a Drake. I could see if you had a record that had a single like Passing Me By that was the simp anthem for a time and that had been sampled more times than Amber Rose had been tapped like they do on the Far Side. But you don't. How the fuck do tours go for French Montana? Like, what do you perform? Is your whole set just fucked if someone says I can't make it? Like, who's going to see French Montana perform? Who, seriously? And if I feel the way I feel about your tours, then how are you making money? The really messed up part about what he did with the whole manipulating his streams on Spotify is like, it changes the person's algorithm whose account that they get into to play the stream, to play the song more times. So even if you never listened to a French Montana record and you got a Spotify account, at that time, his music was going to show up more in the algorithm because he tampered with people's accounts to get them to stream the songs more. So if you never liked French Montana before, you don't got a choice now. Young Thug comes out to defend Kendrick Lamar's honor, which I really don't see a problem with. And then French Montana gets in his feelings and starts posting pictures of Young Thug in a dress. As if Young Thug doesn't have an entire fucking album cover in a literal dress. You're acting like this isn't the same man that came out publicly to call another man baby or daddy or something after he helped him get released from jail. You want to accuse Young Thug of doing some suspect stuff? Go ahead. It don't change how people listen to his music, and no one cares. This is the basis for you trying to come back at him and then saying you've got more hits than Young Thug, which you still don't. French Montana is the absolute worst entity I think rap music has ever spawned. If there's anyone I'm calling an industry plant, it's French. French makes music for niggas with receding hairlines and back acne. Didn't Diddy crop you out the photo? Like, weren't you with the bad built body Kardashian before she got her body built back right? You don't even have more hits than Tyga, let alone Kendrick or Young Thug. If y'all can name me one hit that French Montana has that doesn't contain a feature from Drake, a Sway Lee, a Rick Ross, a Wayne, anyone, at least name me three that were hits, I'll give it to you. Even though that's not even the conversation, because we've confirmed he doesn't have more hits than Kendrick. But can we at least get three with no features? Can we? J. Cole can go platinum with no features. Can you have a hit without one? Let's see it. I'm not saying this just now because it's cool to hate on French Montana. I said this 3 years ago. Sway Lee's performance on that thing is awesome. But again, on that track, French Montana comes across more of a DJ and less of an artist. French Montana sounds like a feature on all of his own songs. You're just waiting for that other rapper to come in, but they never come. It's just French for the remainder of the song. Start producing, get a bunch of other rappers to say what you want them to say, and you can make crazy money. But what you're doing here, you're doing extra work when you don't need to. This is not your thing. French Montana, in my opinion, is the uncle to rap music. He's the one that you're embarrassed to show in front of everybody, because when he says something, it's like he says it and expects it to be so hard-hitting and emotional sometimes, but then when it's not, everybody's just sitting there looking like,